So that's a good question. So, is all this just politics? I mean, we live in a polarized time, and it just seems like one team versus the other. And there's definitely some truth to that. But I would say this. I mean, Biden's in a bad spot because he ran for president saying he was going to unite the country. He ran for president saying he was going to shut down COVID. He demagogued Trump about COVID, blamed every COVID infection on Trump, and said as soon as he was president, he was stopping it. And yet you've seen the results have been even worse, even with medications and vaccines on that. So he's failed to shut down the virus, which he promised to do, and he failed to unite the country. His proposals that he's done are more divisive than any policies, Republican or Democrat, in my lifetime that I can think of. And so that's what's driving the dissatisfaction. Part of it is the policies aren't working, and I think we have a responsibility to call them out. Look, if you want truckers fired, if you want nurses fired in Florida, I'm standing up for them, and I'm going to fight back against you. That's just the bottom line. But I think also the dissatisfaction is driven by people appreciate if you run and you say you're going to do stuff and you do it, even if they don't agree with it, they kind of give you credit for doing what you said you do. I mean, I've done what I said I would do. You look back at my inauguration speech, we've knocked out what I said I would do, and we're doing even more. Biden, though, I think, committed a fraud on the public when he said he was going to unite people. He is not. He is being captive by a very militant leftist impulse in his party. This is an impulse that I think the vast majority of Americans reject, but nevertheless, that's what's driving this. And so I think that adds salt in the wounds. Like, yeah, they see their gas prices going up. They see grocery prices going up. They see all these problems. See, of course, the disaster in Afghanistan, the disaster at the southern border. So they see all that, and that's problematic. But then I think it's like, wait a minute. How is it uniting the country by having an open border? How did it unite the country for being humiliated in Afghanistan? How is it uniting the country to try to impose mandates that are going to cause millions of Americans to potentially lose jobs or livelihoods? And that, I think, is why people are so dissatisfied. And so we have just a responsibility to stand up for folks. And we've guarded Floridians' jobs zealously, their freedom zealously, from threats on all comers. But if it happens to be coming out of Washington, that we're going to do that. But people know that if you have a bureaucracy that's out of control and they have their set sight on the jobs and livelihoods of Floridians, people know they have a governor that is going to fight back. They have a governor that's going to stand up for them. They have a governor that is going to do whatever he can to make sure they have the right to work and the businesses can function and kids are able to go to school and all the things that are just so important to having a healthy society. That's what we're fighting for. And to the extent that the Biden administration is getting in the way of that, then we're going to be here to fight back. Absolutely. Okay.